Yes, we're live.
Okay, good morning. This is the September 14th, 2023 meeting of the Allegheny County IDA. And in the room today are our agency directors, Randy Shaler, Doug Frank, John Rickey, Judy Hopkins, and our executive director, Craig Clark. The only member that's absent is Rich Yule. We're ready to start our meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. And the first agenda item is the approval of the minutes. So if you want to take a look at that for a minute, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Okay, thank you. Doug Frank moves. Second, John Rickey. Any questions about the minutes or changes? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. That has passed. Next order of business is the treasury report. And we'll take a look at the abstract report first. Expenses. And entertain a motion to approve.
Yeah, the official one, like I said, was added one more invoice. I didn't get the ProClean one until late, so, but it's in there, so. And then the other positive thing is we have a check that we got transfer funds from Alliance, so we ended up paying, Alliance ended up paying the last 2 years, so they're all caught up to date, so.
Good.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good news. Okay, motion to approve the expense report, John Rickey, second by Doug Frank. Thank you. Any questions beyond what Craig has just shared with us? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, obviously, we're all here. Sorry, that's former days. Okay, that is approved. Thank you. And the next one is the banking and financial report. I did notice that we had a new addition to the report that we got.
I just thought that was an easier thing to read.
It is. It's.
I
really
found that
good.
report and it was easier for me to read that than the other one, so.
Yes.
I just put them both in there this time, but I think we just need that one next time, just put that, I just found that easier to read. You know.
Have you all taken a look at that, and would you agree to that that's simpler to?
Yes.
I didn't know that was in there, but when I found it, I said, ooh, let's put both in, because
Yeah.
it's just simpler to read, and it's a better summary, I think.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
shows all the checks and everything coming in and out, but.
Yeah, I think so. That's great. So we will insert that one to our regular one, and then this
I will
one-
not use
this
that,
one
yeah.
will- That's
'Cause-
nice. I don't like the sideways ones anyway.
I didn't either.
Especially on the computer. So, okay. Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Thank you, Randy. Second by John Rickey. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That is passed. Okay, the next thing would be the building maintenance report.
There's been no issues, which is good. The only thing is we did finally get a reasonable quote to fix the condenser, replace it outside, and I just wanted to make sure the board knows we should go forward that it's $5,500 is the estimate.
Okay.
And that's a good number. The first estimate we got was $10,000, which I knew was high. I just did the similar thing in my home down in South Carolina. It was $6,500. It's in the right ballpark, so.
That's air conditioning?
It's air conditioning, it's the condenser itself, yeah, because that's what's gone bad. We replaced the Freon twice, but if it's leaking like that, it's gonna leak out again, and it's not what we should be doing. Now is a good time to replace it when we don't need it, versus in the middle of summer. So if there's any objection, we'll go forward with that and replace that.
Do you need a motion on that, Craig?
I don't need a motion, I just want to inform the board,
Okay, everybody good?
unless there's an objection.
Okay.
The only other thing is because we have been doing some remote meetings and we will occasionally, I'm suggesting that we put a TV monitor in here and get it set up so it's more like a Zoom meeting. So if we have somebody that's zooming in, we can see them and talk. And if that's okay, I've got some quotes. It'll probably be between $2,000 and $3,000. Hopefully get that set up by next meeting.
What size are you looking at?
It's a 65-inch.
So we can see them too.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that way we can have
Well,
a two-way discussion if somebody calls in. It's not just a phone call anymore. I think it's a better way to go. It's the technology. It's,
Will that have, sound?
It'll be
in front of
sound,
that?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are they good with that? I think
Okay.
that's a great improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about it, and I finally got Computer Solutions to give me a quote, and they'll come out and put it up, and it'll be done by next meeting.
Okay, good. Good, thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is an executive session to deal with a contractual legal issue. We need a motion to go into executive session. Thank you, Doug. Second by John. Okay, we need to vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are in executive.
Well, now there's one person now. Must be they got tired. There we go.
Okay. Okay, we are back in regular session for the IDA meeting. And the next item on the agenda are committee reports. The nominating committee, the resolution to appoint new board officers. So John, I would ask you to maybe report on that. Sorry,
We had a little,
big warning on that.
Judy and Craig and I had a little meeting last week just to see whether we want to get new members. And if so, are there any who are interested in the job? So there was a few on the list. I don't know if we want to mention names, but I guess you need to bring it back to the full board to see what they want to do. I'm in favor of more, and I take it that some are not in favor of more.
Yeah, there certainly would need to be discussion on that. And there was another purpose of the nominating committee too, which we'll ask you to report on the slate of officers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were having some people step down from their committee assignments and others moving up, I guess. So we need to have some rest.
And Dan has I've got a full resolution that it does that. Basically, it changes the officers. That's what the resolution in your package is.
I think on the first issue, I was present at that meeting, and I think it's important that we do not publicize any names of people that are interested or willing to serve or might think about it or whatever it is. And quite honestly, with all the things going on right now, I think we should make sure that we have a full board present to have that other discussion about the number of members of the board. So open for any comments about that, but I'd like to see us have a full table before we have that discussion.
Agree.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to have Rich at the table so all 5 of the board members discuss if we want to expand.
Yeah. And Craig can perhaps provide us some information on the advantages, disadvantages, that sort of thing.
Well, there's as well as you well know, there's I've looked at, there's a lot of boards are at 5. There's nothing in our bylaws that say we have 5, 7, or does not tell you the number. We traditionally had 5, but there are some, as I think Chautauqua County actually has 9, which I think is a little too many. There's quite a few that do have between 5 and 7. And so the advantage, obviously, you get a bigger board, the quorum, you still have to have a quorum. So if you have 7, you'd have to have 4 show up. And if you have 5, you have to have 3 show up. So the bigger the board, the bigger the quorum. So it's some advantage because you can always miss 1 or 2 depending how big the board is. And obviously and John's mentioned, having the diversity of opinion, having more people represented is also good. But the question is, can I personally like no bigger than 7, and 5 I think is a nice working number. But it's up to the board how they, decide which they want to do.
We're going to ask you to present that information again when we.
I will. I'll actually do some more information again, talking to some other IDA directors. And I'm going to actually ask Chautauqua how they ever got to 9 because I think that's way too big.
That sounds good.
Because, but most of them are 5-ish.
So I do believe we have an action item that we need to do from the nominating committee. So if you want to share that, John, in terms of the nominations that the committee decided on, or
yeah, and Schedule A, it actually has the
discussion.
Yeah, Schedule A actually has the new officers, the very A1, because as we've talked about, Rich no longer wanted to serve as the chair, so he's agreed to serve as secretary, and Judy's agreed to serve as the chair, and Randy's agreed to do vice chair, and Doug will continue. Doug's not shuffling; he's staying as the treasurer. And then what they put in, which traditionally we have to have a governance and audit and a finance committee. They can still be edited or changed, but we've always had, traditionally, they've always been all 5 board members.
Right.
And so that's all they did is they kept the same 5 board members.
And I have a question. Are these then, these changes are only until the end of the year? So
Right.
it's like acting,
Because we do an annual
acting
meeting.
chairman, acting
Well,
secretary.
not acting, they're full
They're
full.
Okay.
until,
But then-
until we re-elect and reappoint again,
Okay.
yes.
We do that at our annual meeting in
Yes,
January.
right.
So, these are temporary appointments at this point. Okay. I think since I'm a part of it, I think John should run this part of the meeting. The rest of
Okay.
us
Just
are involved.
Basically, you just have to have, I think John should probably, it's best that John
What's
make,
that?
it's best that John make probably the motion.
No, better.
So do we have the resignation?
Yeah,
Of
we've got
Rich?
the resignation of Rich, yes, we do.
Okay, so
You turned that
I
in.
would nominate Judy Hopkins as chairperson.
I'll accept that now.
And if we have we need a second and a vote on that, or
We
we
should vote on it individually.
No, we should vote on it all together.
all together? Okay.
Okay.
But you can make the nomination separate, that's fine.
And I'd nominate Randy Shaler as vice chairman and Rich Yule as secretary. Doug Frake's gonna stay on as treasurer. I'm a member.
So if that's out for vote, yeah. We have a full resolution for that as well, so.
Take it all in one
Yeah,
vote.
take it all in one vote. So John's motioning it, who's seconding it?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Congratulations, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
So now I gotta change all these resolutions. The next resolutions all have the old, I'll change those in the record. Because they'll have you as the vice chair, the next two resolutions.
Okay, all right, thank you. Moving on then to the next action item on the agenda today. We have a resolution regarding the seeker for Augustus Solar Wellsville LLC project located in the town of Wellsville, Allegheny County. Would you like to bring us up to date on that, Craig?
I've been talking to Dan, and Dan and I have gotten 2 responses, but there's no more responses from the DEC, basically saying that, make sure that you appropriately cover the fact that, it's over 1 acre, so you have to have a plan to make sure there's no water runoff, those kind of things. And then also making sure that there is no other issues as far as archaeology and those kind of things. So there's nothing out of the, nobody objected to the fact that we're moving forward with this project.
Okay. Okay, I think we need a motion then to pass this. John,
I'll move.
thank you.
And this one has to voice vote.
Okay.
John and who?
John made the motion and Doug
Doug.
is seconding
Okay,
that.
thank you.
We're ready for any kind of discussion or questions from the board members. If not, we will vote. The order, I believe, is Rich Yule, who is absent. Judy Hopkins, aye. Randy Shaler,
Aye.
Doug Frank,
Aye.
John Ricky.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That is 4 votes in favor, passed. Okay, thank you. The next item will be the approving of the resolution for the Augustus Solar Wellsville LLC project. We need a motion on that. John, thank you. And Doug, thank you. Okay, any questions or something you'd like to share with us?
Well, as noted, the host agreement is almost finalized, and we will not sign the documents until the host agreement is finished. But the Wellsville board is fine with this going forward at this stage.
Okay, any questions? If not, I believe we have a roll call vote on this one too, like on the last
Yes.
page.
Correct.
So I would presume that Rich is first. You is absent. Second would be Judy, that's an aye. Randy,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Okay, again, 4 votes in favor. Thank you very much. Okay, that is passed. Okay, and the next item of business is a resolution also authorizing the release of certain parcels for the Swain Recreation Center. And Craig, I would ask you to share the particulars about that.
Certainly, we've discussed this with Swain and the county. We've had a couple of meetings. What Swain's going to do is sell 4 parcels, and most of the money will end up going back to paying, 80% of it's going to go back to be paying to the taxing authorities, past due pilots and tax monies. And this will obviously also help the county because most of those lots we're hoping will have homes put on them, will be taxable. If nothing else, the land is taxable, so it's good for the county. And Swain, obviously, because they put some more money into paying some of their back taxes.
Okay, we need a motion on this, please. Randy, thank you. Doug, or excuse me, John, thank you. Okay. If there are no questions, we'll go ahead and vote on that. Rich Yule is absent. Judy Hopkins says aye. Randy Shaler,
Aye.
Doug Frank,
Aye.
and John.
Aye.
Thank you. 4 votes in favor of it. That is passed. Okay, that leads us to the, to old business. And next we have information about the CBDG CARES Act SBA grant update. Craig has left the room for a second, so we will wait for him to come back for that. Okay, we are asking you for an update on the CBDG CARES Act SBA.
I talked to Mike Zimmerman yesterday, and we do have another payment from the state, so we'll be paying some more money out next week. And he's pretty sure that we'll end up being able to expend all that money by the end of October. So the 21 companies will be served, and if there's an extension, we'll ask for one, but he thinks everything's pretty much in order to end up helping all those companies writing more checks.
And do they have a deadline when they need to spend the money?
We have to spend the money by October 30th.
We do, but not them, not the.
Well, they've had to have done what they had to do, and some of them, they have to show all the receipts and spend some money and actually show what they've done to be complying, yes.
Okay.
And the micro enterprise grant, the CBDG money, he's worked with 10 of the 12, and they're pretty close to being ready for approval of the board at the next month's meeting. So there's still 2 that have some outstanding issues. But the one that we talked about, remember we talked about having the outside, whether or not they could do it with less money and do the inside, they're fine with that.
Good.
So they can still do the project. They'll have to figure out how to do the exterior differently because we can't fund it.
Excellent, glad to hear that. Okay, how about clean energy updates?
Clean energy updates, we're continuing to work with the Northland Group as far as the large scale wind in Alfred, and pretty much getting to the point where the host agreement is almost finalized. They'll be putting in an financial application fairly soon, and then we can look and looking at making a full pilot agreement in the near future with those guys. We will have a report at the next meeting from Oya on the fact that they've had trouble finding enough local labor, and so we're going to ask them to respond to us about due diligence, what they actually did for that, and also to talk about their Cuba project. And the wind project is waiting. The large wind scale project is still waiting for a road agreement from the county. So.
Okay. Any questions about those updates? Okay, the last thing is the Great Lakes Cheese Cuba facility update.
I did talk to Matt via email. He's been busy. I will get him at the next meeting. I'll get a confirmation that he'll be either in person or on the phone. They don't, at this stage, have any future uses for that facility, so I just talked to Lee James. We're gonna sit down and talk to the Cuba as far as what potentially we can use that facility for in the future. Hoping to still have someone come in there and use it for some kind of manufacturing or some space.
Okay. Do you know how many square feet that building is?
I don't know, I should know, but I do not know
That's
that one.
Just wondering. Okay,
I think we skipped one.
Yeah, I did skip the
Did we skip
Gateway
one?
one. Yeah, I was gonna bring it back, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
The one with Gateway.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah,
The county's about ready. I think the letters have just gone out for the seeker, because they can't do any of their road work until they get the seeker approved. And the last go-round with Hunt, the county's decided that they want to put a water storage tank larger and up on the hill, the original proposal. And that's up to them. I don't care as long as we take the same time frame, the 2-year time frame, so we can get a hotel in there, because if we need fire protection is what it comes down to. And then the package plant, they're talking about putting the package plant down at the S curves that will serve both the crossroads and the S curves. And again, that's really not an issue as long as it doesn't take any longer for getting it approved.
Okay.
So,
Craig, do we have, and I'll give you the background. One of my former college fraternity brothers was in town. We were talking about the crossroads
All right.
and that. He graduated from the hotel school, just retired from a hotel development company.
oh, great.
And what he offered to do, if I can get him some kind of a thumbnail on what we have, he offered to put that in front of Marriott and a couple other main or property, not property.
I'll get him the study we had done.
Okay,
And then I'll also give them a contact, because Holiday Inn was the one that was the most interested, but I'm more than happy to have Marriott look at it as well. The only one that responded when I tried to do this a couple years ago was Holiday Inn. And they were kind of excited because if you look at it, there's no Holiday Inn Express in the area. Whereas Hampton didn't say no, but now there's a Hampton on either side of us, both Olean and Hornell. But they didn't say no because they may be a different brand, because obviously the Hilton brand has lots of different brands, wouldn't have to be the same brand.
Mhm.
But I'll get you the study.
okay, yeah, get it to
And it
me.
gets you a layout of the lot, so we have a recent layout of where it would be.
Yeah, whatever we could give him.
Yeah, I can give him enough
Carry it
information.
forward.
Sure.
Good.
And there's some other groups that are still interested, but no one signed off, so I don't really care who signs off as long as we get a developer. But we're now, I think the county can say there is a plan for both water and sewer and electric's available and everything's there, so it's really gonna be shovel ready here. And we've already done all the seeker information, so we're good. I can send you a copy of that too.
Excellent, glad to hear that,
So
thank you.
we're making progress, although I'd still like to see the dirt fly out there, but I know, so does Tom Windus, but
I think we all do,
yeah, I know.
all do. Okay, great, anything else? Okay, is there any new business? Anything for the good of the order? If not, we have a motion for adjournment from John and Doug. Thank you very much. All those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
we are adjourned, thank you.
Yeah, we had as many